Which car are we taking?
Not that one.
Oh, my God. Oh, God.
Oh! You chose to be an international CIA spy.
Because I don't like bullies.
You were like Jason Bourne and George.
Did you see that, Mom? I did the thing! I did the thing, Mom!
Yeah!
Yeah!
What's up, everybody? And thank you for watching ReelTime for the real everyday movie fan. I'm Ryan Murphy.
And I'm Josh Williams.
And today we're giving you a real-time review of Central Intelligence. Now, of course, this is one of those situations where Josh got to see the movie I did not saw. I'm going to be interviewing Josh about his time on the movie. Josh, tell us a little bit about this movie, Central Intelligence.
All right, well, this movie was directed by Rawson Thurber, and he directed Dodgeball, We Are the Millers, and Easy A. It also stars Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. Now, he doesn't really call himself The Rock anymore, but I'll probably refer to him.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Yeah.
I'll also probably refer to him every once in a while. So, if you want to know the synopsis of this movie, it's in the description below, folks. I'll get right into it. It was all right. I mean, probably some people like it more than I did. I had a couple of problems with it, but I still laughed. I got a lot of good laughs. There was a couple problems with the story. It kind of made itself kind of an action comedy. And I guess maybe I might be a little bit harsh on some of these because I have such a high hopes for them. So when you look at like 21 Jump Street and 20 Jump Street, where they really made it perfect with action and comedy and really made it work. So I mean, maybe I harp on these a little too much, but I mean, overall, I still had a good time somewhat, but there was definitely some problems with that I had with the movie.
Yeah. So what was some of the real standout stuff for you?
Real standout stuff, surprisingly, Kevin Hart a little bit. Some of his movies, like The Wedding Ringer and mostly The Wedding Ringer, and maybe Get Hard a little bit, he was a little too over the top for me. Mm-hmm. And I do like his stand-up comedy, but in the movies, I felt like he was a little too over the top for the tone of the movie. Mm-hmm. This one, he actually was a little toned down. It was The Rock who was really Kevin Hart-y, I guess, but really was really high up on the silly meter, whereas Kevin Hart was kind of really toned down. I actually liked that a little bit. He still had his jokes, he still had his quirks, but he wasn't, like I said, over top and crazy. I did love, really enough, there were so many movie references in this movie in the script that I found myself laughing a lot because something would happen in the movie and they'll make a similarity to a movie. And I'm like, ha, I get it. Or just, whatever. I really like that. It's a small thing, but I really love that. The action scenes were kind of great, were really great. As far as like the chase scenes and how certain things that they would do, like as far as Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson's characters, I really loved some of those action scenes. There was a lot of good chase scenes. Not so much maybe the actual fighting scenes, because you can tell they're kind of like how the camera was shot. You can tell it was a little fake, like it was a little choreographed in a sense. But other than that, I mean, some of the jokes I found myself even now to this day, which probably the reason why I'm gonna give it a higher score here in a little bit. After the movie was over, I think the last couple of days, I still find myself laughing. Like I'll think about some of the jokes in the movie, and I'll like, okay, that was kind of funny. Okay, that was really funny. And then maybe in the moment, because of how it was done, I didn't laugh as much. But now that I think about it more and more, I'm still laughing about it today, which is a good thing because it makes you kind of want to go, okay, maybe I'll go see it again. It makes you kind of think that way, which is actually a good thing for a movie. So those are some of the really big things that kind of stood out to me in a sense.
What were some of the negative aspects of it?
Negative aspects was, honestly, I didn't really buy into the chemistry of Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. It was weird. Like a lot of people are like, oh, their chemistry's great, but for me, I don't know why, I just didn't buy into it. And I think maybe that was because of Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. I love him in any movie he does. Maybe not necessarily Tooth Fairy or Game Plan, but lately I love him in anything done. I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid in the 90s. The guy's a great guy. He's a really great guy. But this movie, for me, I honestly felt like he overacted a little to where it was noticeable. Because his character is supposed to be weird and awkward. He's supposed to be weird, goofy, and awkward like a kid, like a little tiny kid, but he's a huge dude. He was trying to go for that, but for me, I felt like it was so over the top that it looked like overacting to me. Or I didn't really buy into it a lot of the time. Sometimes I did, but most of the time I didn't, and it became a problem for me, which then it went into their chemistry as a duo. Most of the time I just didn't buy into it. I didn't buy into their chemistry as far as most people would. And it's sad because that was, it looked like it could have been a great pairing, which it might be later on down the road, but this one just didn't work for me. Some of the pacing was off a little bit. Like they move along the story very quickly, but then it'd slow down and it'd speed back up. Just that kind of really bothered me a little bit. And I will say, a lot of the time they did bring up, there was a big bully message in this movie. Like, bullies are bad and so on and so forth, and it carries on throughout the entire movie. And when you finally, they kind of, give the message more like out in the open in the end of the movie, it would kind of handle a little poorly, I guess, a little bit. Because where it felt, you were trying to give this serious, heartfelt message, which bullying is a bad thing, but it was kind of goofy in the way the message was conveyed. And I just felt like it was handled a little bit poorly in my opinion. So those are some of the biggest things for me. But I mean, it's one of those comedies where they're trying to be a certain thing, but maybe I just felt like it was done a little over the top.
Okay, cool. All right. So overall, what are your final thoughts and what's your score out of 10?
Overall, I mean, it's an alright movie. Like I said, I felt like it's weird how in the moment, because of Dwayne Johnson's performance, I felt kind of awkward. I felt awkward and weird watching it every once in a while in the movie, where I was kind of uncomfortable. I still, today, like I'm still thinking, like for the last couple of days, I've been thinking about some of the jokes and I've been laughing at it, which makes me, in a weird way, wanting to see it again. It's kind of weird. This movie, for me, it just makes you, it's kind of a mixed feeling where I know that his performance, maybe I'll like it a second time, who knows, but his performance kind of made me feel awkward and weird, but I still found myself laughing a lot at the jokes then and even now especially. So it's a good movie. If you've been excited for this movie with the Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart, go see it. You'll still laugh your ass off, especially if you like Kevin Hart's stand-up. Dwayne Johnson's still a draw no matter what anyone says. He's one of the very few actors in Hollywood today where you're like, oh, Dwayne Johnson in this movie? I'll go see just because he's in it. Lately, that's not the case with a lot of these actors. So overall, I mean, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's still a fresh score. Like I said, if you want to see this, go see it. But if you're not, if you might have some hesitations, listen to those hesitations and just wait for it to come out on DVD.
Cool. All right. Well, that'll do us for today, folks. Thank you for watching. What did you think of Central Intelligence? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And please subscribe to our channel so you can see more of our content in the future. Until next time, I'm Ryan Murphy.
And I'm Josh Williams.
And thank you for keeping it real.
With ReelTime.